Okay, so
Yes.
today we'll talk about the order of the blessings in the morning. And so, as we have learned, the original institution of the sages was to bless and give thanks for each and every act immediately upon enjoying it. So just to compare, when we eat, let's say a fruit, we say Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam borei pri ha'etz, and then we eat it. But these are blessings for Thanksgiving after something happened. Like, for example, if you saw if you came to a place where a miracle happened for our ancestors, especially Hanukkah, and we say "Bayamim hahem bazman hazeh," so it's actually after because we're not eating the place. So just to compare, so as one wakes up, thanks God for the soul Hashem placed within her and says Elokai Neshama. And after the bathroom, etc., as she opens her eyes, she recites Pukeach Ivrim of opening the eyes of the blind, because at night we don't we our eyes are closed, so we are almost like we are blind. As she stretches her limbs, she recites Matir Asurim, and so on, with all the blessings in that manner. However, today the custom has changed, and we recite Birkot HaShachar consecutively, and most people do it in shul, even though they woke up, let's say, an hour before. Rabbi Hertzfeld wakes up um, 2 or 3 hours before davening, and so he says the blessings at Shacharis. So why did this custom change? It is obviously more appropriate to thank God immediately upon enjoying the bounty that Hashem gives us. In that way, the process of awakening attains profound significance as blessings of thanksgiving to Hashem accompany each and every stage. Indeed, Rambam rules that all Birkot HaShachar must be recited exactly as mentioned in the Talmud, like we talked about yesterday, each bracha at its appropriate time. And there are actually some Yemenite Jews following this ruling even today. If you remember, I told you that in Har Bracha, where Rabbi Melamed is the rabbi, there's quite a few Yemenite Jews who went back to pronouncing the letters the way that the Yemenite Jews do, and all kinds of other minhagim. And there's Shami and Baladi, which are two different areas of Yemen, but because they're so small as each one, they actually managed to find a way to daven together, and made many compromises. However, as noted, the prevailing custom is to recite all Birkot HaShachar at once. The reason for this is that if they were recited in the process of waking, there is concern that one bracha or more will be forgotten. However, if they are recited consecutively, it is more likely they will be remembered. Just for example, we talked yesterday about the wearing the belt. If somebody doesn't wear the belt, they wouldn't be saying that blessing. But the idea is that we are thanking Hashem for the ability to learn how to do that. And I think the first one in the Torah that in the Tanakh that's mentioned that wore a belt was Elijah. And it says Vayezor Motnav, he tightened his girdle and ran before King Ahab. So not everybody wears a belt, but again, the idea is that this way we remember them all. Moreover, we want to enhance the mitzvah and recite Birkot HaShachar in the most respectful manner, that is to say, with clean hands and while properly dressed, and therefore we delay the recitation of the brachot until after all the preparations for prayer are finished. Rabbi Mordechai Kaplan, who's a Finkelman, who's a mashgiach, I'm not sure in what yeshiva, added not a blessing because we don't write blessings anymore, but he said that important in nowadays that everybody brush their teeth before they start davening, because we now have a better way of understanding how to have a clean breath. And so he said it's not appropriate to say brachot without brushing our teeth in the morning. So, even though it sounds like something, almost like made up, it is very important to understand that this is part of halacha and good advice. And furthermore, some people find it very difficult to concentrate immediately upon waking up, and only after they dress and wash their faces and hands are they able to recite Birkot HaShachar with kavanah, and so that's our minhag. So as today is Friday and we try to connect it to the Parsha, I think I found a very, very good example. When everybody can see the screen.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So
Yes.
when the Pharaoh sent for Joseph, Safari has it as he cut his hair or had his hair cut, but the word Vayigalach usually refers to the beard, and so I've never been one to shave my beard every single day, and even if I grow a beard and trim it, it's like once every few weeks or whatever. And and even if I'm not planning on shaving, but the Talmud says that where it says Hayom, that was the day. Every reference like that is Rosh Hashanah, and a few of the Rishonim asked, how is it possible that Yosef broke the Yantiv and shaved? The common answer is that he shaved in honor of the king, and that gives us a little bit of insight into the difference between Jews and non-Jews in those days. Also, in the time of David, there was a delegation that was sent by David to the king of Ammon after his father died, and the son, the prince heir, shaved half their beard and embarrassed them, and David suggested that they stay outside of Israel until they grow it back because it was an embarrassment. And even in Yiddish, the word for a Catholic priest or Russian Orthodox priest is galach, because they did shave their head. I think in the movie about Martin Luther, it shows that he had his whole hair shaven except for like a circle, almost like a halo on his head. So the real difference between Jews and non-Jews, even it doesn't matter if they were Ammonites or Egyptian or European, was that we had a beard and they didn't. So Yosef, in honor of the king, did this shaving, and like I said, for Birkot HaShachar, if somebody is normally does shave every single day, that is part of the morning routine before they say the brachot, because it's not appropriate to stand before Hashem with a well, 5 o'clock a.m. shadow instead of 5 o'clock p.m. because that's not respectful. But if somebody grows their beard, it doesn't really matter. And last but not least, there was one time that I was in a synagogue, doesn't matter where, and the people behind the two men behind me were clean shaven, and it was Rosh Hashanah, and you could smell the aftershave throughout, at least 10 rows of chairs, and that's not appropriate because Hashem, as king, does not want us to shave on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, but Yosef did, and it was the first day of Rosh Hashanah. I also leave it up to you to figure out, because I don't know the answer, what it means to change his clothes. Where did he get new clothes or clean clothes to come before the king? But again, it's about the smell, about the idea that if somebody is in jail, they can't really say some of these blessings, especially Matir Asurim. And so I just wanted to make that connection and wish you all a very good Shabbos, Chodesh Tov, and happy Hanukkah.
Tov and happy